Hey everybody, it's Dr. Cara, and it's January. Well, actually it's February, but I was sick in January, so it's January for me, even though it's February. And this time of the year, I really like to do a little co-creation exercise, or a few of them, to kind of align my life with my heart and my soul, and to make sure that I am just kind of being true to myself, just really focusing my effort and focusing my time and focusing my energy, and creating goals that are really in alignment with who I am and what I'm up to. And I find that for myself, I can really easily get pulled in a million directions on any given day, and also just get bogged down by the details of paying bills and getting kids to school on time and all those sorts of things. So for me, I like to literally physically take a time out where I get to focus on visions. And I do this once a year in a very formal kind of way. I have several exercises that I do for myself, just kind of depending. Sometimes I do one, sometimes I do a bunch of them. Just kind of depends on where I'm at. And I'm going to share those with you today. And then I also take time every month to kind of reaffirm and reignite, realign with my visions, and adjust and fine tune. So for me, the New Year visioning is the start. It's the bigger picture thing. It's where am I now? Where am I going this year, the next few years, in my life? It can show up any way. And if this is part of what you're looking for in your life, then I want to share these really cool tools with you. So when I talk about co-creation, what do I mean? I mean, like, literally aligning yourself with your soul to put things in motion to create the life that you want to live. So we don't make it all happen. We're kind of like the NASCAR driver. We're what we see doing the action, but behind the scenes, there's this whole big team, like a NASCAR pit crew. So even though the driver is the one driving the car, all of these other people are playing important roles. And that's what co-creation is. It's really aligning with all of those forces in our lives, starting with that place where we're the most connected to ourselves and to the universe, which is through our hearts and our souls. So without this co-creation time, this visioning, this sacred time, this time out from daily life and work, life begins to feel like a big fat to-do list. And it's not very fun. It loses the joy, it loses the spark, it loses the truth of what we want and what we're up to. And I find when I do these exercises and I take a little time, I reconnect with that joy. Before I started doing this, I really just was kind of floating through life and not feeling very fulfilled, and not feeling like I was doing what was meaningful for me. And I didn't have a vision or a goal, so I never felt like I ever made it. I always had this feeling like I should be doing something more, like I was missing something, or something else should be going on. There should be something more. And once I started taking a little time out to do these processes, I found that they sustained me for long periods of time. And I am very visual, so I create drawings, and I write ideal scenes, and I create life maps, and I write letters. So I like these physical reminders, because throughout the year, if I get bogged down or lose track or off track, I have these touchstones to help bring me back to who I am and what I'm up to and what I'm about and where I'm going. And for me, knowing where I'm going, at least in a broad sense, is really comforting. It's like I'm a very goal-oriented person, so I like having something out there that I'm reaching towards, that I'm moving towards. So without this, life can feel empty, it can feel dull, it can feel meaningless, it can feel like nothing I do matters, I don't get what I want. So really stating clearly for yourself what you want, and then also for the universe what you want, is a great way to start actually attracting what you want. So the whole law of attraction is in there as well. So how do I do it? So I have 3 tools that I want to share with you today. These are tools that I use all the time, every year for sure, and more often with my coaching clients. You can use these tools anytime a new project comes up, or a new job, or a new vacation, or anything that requires you planning into the future. You can use these. So number 1 is daydreaming. And this is what I call, wouldn't it be nice? So I have a whole notebook filled with wouldn't it be nice. I can remember a few years ago, probably about 5 years ago, I was sitting up on a lake near Ashland, Oregon. I'd been camping out with my kids, and I was there with my friend and her son, and we were going out on this little raft on the lake, and I just pulled out my notebook. I couldn't really go, oh, this is what I want. I was too much in my left brain. I just couldn't quite crack into what do I want. And so I just played this very relaxed, very casual, wouldn't it be nice if? Wouldn't it be nice if I had my own business? Wouldn't it be nice if I had enough money to travel? Wouldn't it be nice if I had more free time? Wouldn't it be nice if I could fly to the moon? Whatever it is. To me, that's an easy starting place, because we can all kind of, suspend our judgment and just go, wouldn't it be nice if? Wouldn't it be nice if I got a paycheck every 2 weeks? Wouldn't it be nice if it was a bigger paycheck? I can remember one time I wrote down I wanted to work less hours. I was teaching at the college. I want to work less hours and make more money. And there was no way that was possible. I knew what my job was and how much I got paid. And I wrote it down in my wouldn't it be nice if journal. And guess what happened? I found a new position. Actually, it found me. I didn't even know it existed. And this position was offered to me. I worked fewer hours. I made more money. And that happened. It was ridiculous. It seemed impossible at the time. But just opening up with wouldn't it be nice really opened up doors, and things changed for me. So that's technique number 1. Technique number 2 is to write a future letter. So I do this every January, and I write it as if I'm writing it from the next January. So looking back on the past year. So at the beginning of 2019, I write all about all the things that happened in 2019 as if it's now 2020. So the first year I started doing this was, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 years ago. And I put down how much money I made. I made exactly that much money that year. And I wrote this letter, and I have a file and I put it away, and I don't think about it. And I went back, the next year when I went to write my next letter, and I reviewed my future letter, and 80% of what I wrote down had happened exactly the way I wrote it. So this was super, super powerful to me to see in action how this stuff really works. It just aligns all of the forces in our lives, and things start to happen. And you have a tangible way to measure it so that you know when you achieve something, which I think is a great thing for just, anchoring all of these things, because they can seem a little flighty, a little woo-woo, a little like out there, but they work. And that's why I keep doing them. So that was number 2. Number 3 is what I call a dream drawing. And a dream drawing is drawing a picture of your life as if you've already achieved everything you want to achieve, whether it's experiences or specific outcomes or goals. You can do that. And I keep these. I'm looking up because I keep them on my wall right next to my desk. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm surrounded by my dream drawings. One of my first ones was created right before I started connecting intuitively with animals. And that was that longing that I had to start this business. Another one came up right before I started my master's degree program. at USM in spiritual psychology, and it really kind of foretold the healing that I had no idea I would be doing. The drawing didn't make sense to me at the time. It makes sense now, but it just really opened up things for me. Another one is before I wrote Divine Beings, it all came to me. I didn't know what I wanted to do for my master's project, and I did a dream drawing on it, and I draw a picture of a dolphin, and then I drew the words. In fact, I'll show it to you. I'll take it off the wall here and show it to you. So I drew the dolphin, and then these words started coming in when I tapped into the energy of that dolphin. So the lesson that I got from that was connect in with the animals and the words will come. And this is before I was communicating intuitively with animals. And that is what became my book, Divine Beings. My most recent one, actually not my most recent one, but a surprising one for me was this one, which came up when I was facilitating an in-person retreat for visioning. And let's see if you can see it. That's me in the middle with all these animals. And it's really about going to visit these animals and writing books about it. And I've already started doing that. I have What the Elephant Knows, which includes talking to Namphon in Thailand. So these are the tools that I use all the time. The Daydreaming Journal, wouldn't it be nice if the Future Letter and the Dream Drawing, those are three powerful tools. Any one of them will help you get moving. All three of them will just, be like lighting a rocket underneath you. But that's what I do for myself in my world, and I do it for my clients with coaching, and I also do it in some of my classes. And I'm offering a masterclass in co-creating your vision for 2019. And I would love to invite you to join me in that, because we'll be taking some of these processes and customizing them for you right here, right now in this class. It's live on Wednesday, February 13th, the day before Valentine's Day. And it will be recorded if you can't make it live, but the process that we'll walk through as a group is so powerful in itself. And then it's even more powerful when you do it with a group. And it's something that to me is just magical. It just opens up all these possibilities for you to connect with your truth, and then to have that guiding you in your life energetically, mentally, inspirationally, and in a very practical way. You know where you're going and what you want, and that in itself is really powerful. So those are three ways that you can co-create your life with spirit. And if you would like some company for doing that, then come and join me. The link for the class is below this video, and I look forward to seeing what new 2019 brings for you, and the joy, the satisfaction, and the meaningful things that you're looking for in your life. So keep me posted on how it goes, and I look forward to connecting with you next time. Bye, everybody.